Let's learn something really quick.
If you got the time, absolutely. And you got the discipline, there's no question about it.
I love that. Yeah, that's a great practice to put into your everyday life, you guys.
You generally regret the things you don't do, not the things you did do. Let me say it that way.
Mic drop. This was just awesome. I love meeting my guests in person, and it's a whole nother animal, and the energy is just electric. You guys, this is your host, Deanna Radulescu with Label Free Podcast. Live your best life. You must live label free. What is good, everyone? This is your host, Deanna Radulescu of Label Free. To live your best life, you must live label free. As always, bring incredible guests from all over the world, so sit back, relax, and tune in. My next guest is a returning guest. She's so awesome. You're not going to want to miss this. She's the founder and CEO of the Innovation and Creativity Institute, a trailblazing business coach, an accomplished artist. She is also the author of Buoyant, the Entrepreneur's Guide to Becoming Wildly Successful, creative and free. She's also a podcast host of The Courage to Live a Big Life. Please welcome Susie DeVille. Susie, welcome to the show.
Hello. It's so great to see you again.
Yes, it's great to have you back. I know last time we got into all things like creativity, vitality, like some of my personal hang-ups. So I just want to kind of start, refresh from the beginning for those that are just tuning in for the first time, that are streaming here on all the crazy platforms. A little bit about your background and what you do with becoming the CEO and founder of your Innovation and Creativity Institute.
Sure. So I grew up in an entrepreneurial household, and that really gave me a wonderful insight into the roller coaster ride of entrepreneurship, really from a young age. And I studied anthropology and got a master's in entrepreneurship, and have a background in academic publishing, as well as real estate investing, and nonprofit leadership, and became a coach in 2006.
If all that stuff wasn't enough, you just added a coach out. Yeah.
So and then I started working with clients who were struggling with the same kinds of issues that I had been struggling with when I was in my nuclear winter period, which was 2008 to 2013. And I brought along all of the research that I had been doing in innovation and creativity that was much more of an academic, theoretical, research-based process, to down on the dance floor, the nitty-gritty, and then adding in my own journey to tapping into my innate creativity. So I put all of that into the cauldron and created my book, Buoyant, which came out in September of 2022.
And actually, you guys, I have it right here. So we'll get into more about this book a little bit later on in the conversation, but it's awesome. It's a good read.
Thank you.
Not difficult at all. Because sometimes people can get a little wordy and you can kind of get lost, but it's a great read. I forgot you had the background in anthropology. Wow. So creative and anthropology, I feel like those are two opposite.
Actually, anthropology is sort of like a mirepoix base for an amazing sauce of whatever you want to create on top of that.
Okay.
So because what it does is train you to include all disciplines in order to understand whether it's a human phenomenon, a culture, any kind of a situation. So you're trained to have a global, holistic perspective.
Yeah.
And rather than trying to label and pigeonhole things and get to an answer quickly, anthropology really taught me to open up a lot of doors and let a lot of cross-ventilation happen.
Yeah.
And not rush to solve, but be more comfortable in not knowing. And there, sometimes there's just magical things that come to the fore in terms of things that we might have overlooked or never even dreamed of, because we weren't trying to find black or white.
Sure.
So, it's a wonderful discipline.
That makes sense. Very interesting. I would never kind of put that together. You talked about your winter period from 2008 to 2013. And what do you mean when you say that?
So the markets crashed in the fall of 2008, and my then husband and I were in the two biggest industries to get hit, which was real estate and construction.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So that initiated a series of unfortunate events that culminated in my marriage dissolving, my finances going poof, my health going out the window, and everything just kind of imploded at the same time. And so, and it's not a period of time that I would love to experience again.
Sure.
However, I'm so just incredibly grateful that I had that time because I reinvented myself. And I believe in some way the universe was saying, look, you're supposed to have this other life too. And I wouldn't have ever done that if I hadn't been booted out of real estate. So I created an entirely new way of living. And all of those lessons have not only served me, but literally thousands of people. So I feel like it just had a wonderful, beautiful purpose, but it was not any fun.
No, well, I mean, we have that in common. I think most people go through something like, similar, a winter period. I like how you call that. It's usually there's something on the other side of that is so rewarding. We can't see it when we're going through it. It's just like, I try to look at things now like that, like, okay, what is the lesson?
Yeah,
I need to learn throughout this because just because life is good, you reinvent yourself and you restart, you renew all these things doesn't mean that you're not going to experience hard times again. But it's like if you've experienced it before, you kind of can prepare yourself to like what that mindset's going to look like going through it again. So
absolutely. And I'll tell you too, I am at the point now where when I bump up across any kind of resistance, whether if I think the path is this direction and I just get a hard no from, all the things that I'm trying, or if I think that maybe content should be here or I should serve there. And if it's not easy, and I don't mean easy in terms of no effort or no skill required, but easy in terms of just sort of feeling in the current, like going downstream. If it's not happening, I will look for the alternative path and not make it mean anything negative about myself. Because there's something that I'm not seeing. And invariably, the thing that doesn't work is the best present ever because it takes me to the right direction and the right path.
Yeah, no, I love that. That was very beautifully put. I couldn't agree more. And I've talked about this before on the show with other guests, is just allowing life to flow.
Yeah.
Right. And so like, that's something that has been hard for me to adopt. And I've just like thrown caution to the wind, throw my hands up, like, okay, I'm just going to let things flow. I'm not going to fight this. If it's meant to be, it will happen, and just keep moving forward in my life. Like that's been the best thing for me to do.
Totally. And it invites so much synchronicity and other people to come in, because if we're just white knuckling it on our own, by golly, we're going to do it all by ourselves. Then no one feels like they can come in. But when we do kind of surrender and get comfortable in the uncertain unknown, then all kinds of helping hands and interesting support and interesting sort of connections and things can happen.
Yeah, I totally agree. Let's kind of highlight a little bit about what Innovation and Creativity Institute does. So can you kind of educate or inform the audience about what that does and what that would mean for them if they're interested in connecting with you?
Absolutely. So it is a combination of a private one-on-one coaching practice. And under that heading, I do different kinds of coaching packages from a few sessions all the way up to like a VIP experience in Europe. So it sort of spans the continuum. I do a lot of workshops and a lot of webinars, which I love to do, lots of master classes, and testing a lot of different content to see what people really need and resonate with the most. So I have a class that I do that's called the Sketchbook Entrepreneur Masterclass. I'm creating something brand new for August, which is called Drawing the Line. And this is a combination of creativity and boundaries. And it is going to be amazing. I'm so excited about it. I also do speaking. And of course, I have a podcast.
Mm.
So it is ever evolving and ever changing. And I'm really excited about next year because I'm going to have my second cohort go through my certification program because
Okay.
I'm teaching coaches how to do the principles that I teach in Buoyant in their own practices.
Wow, that's awesome. Now, I know that we covered this on the first time that you were a guest on the show. I kind of want to go through it again since we are here streaming to all you lovely people that are watching and tuning in. Why is it important for an entrepreneur to be in touch with their creativity?
Well, the first thing that I want to share with folks, especially if you're in a season of funk
Mm.
or exhaustion or overwhelm or burnout, is that we have been taught from the very early years of our lives, from our culture and very well-meaning parents, adults, people who influence us in our lives, that we need to reach the path of success through tons of hard work, tons of discipline, tons of productivity. And so we believe that the reward is after whipping ourselves forward. And that it couldn't possibly just be this fun, playful, delicious experience to get to the success and freedom that we crave. So what I have figured out as a result of my nuclear winter period is that when I stopped trying to force and overwork, and I changed from 80-hour weeks to working 4 days a week, I quadrupled my income in 6 months as a result. So tapping into your creativity is something that can be incredibly simple. And I have exercises in the book. If you believe that there isn't a creative bone in your body, I will prove you wrong. We all have this capability, and it is baked into us. Even if I wanted to take it out of you, I couldn't. It is just a part of all of us. And we're all capable of incredibly artistic achievements. So the problem that most of us have when we think of art, we think, oh, well, that's kind of frivolous, or that's for kids, or that's for people who are retired or who have buckets of time.
Labels, all these labels of what art and creativity means.
Yes. And we believe that it is sort of like the extra thing if we're, if we have buckets of time or we're on vacation or whatever. But when we change that philosophy and we understand that it's integral to everything as a happy human, but also how it unlocks success for us as entrepreneurs. And the key to it is we cross over a threshold when we stop fascinating ourselves with the outcome of whatever I make has to be good, or I have to like it. And if we just cross over for the fun of it, to have the experience of what it feels like to completely let go, which is not something entrepreneurs are typically great.
No, we are not.
Myself included. We love to control.
I pay all the way.
But what happens when we're in this place is an interesting phenomenon in our central nervous system and in our spirit and in our soul. And we send this taproot down into our intuition. And all of a sudden, we have access to ideas, imagination, and problem solving that's not available to us any other time. It's like we have this ability to light up different creative centers in our brain, which stimulates new thought, new strategic paths, and new creative ideas. I had a session last fall where I taught a class online, and we had been painting a couple of different abstract things, and I was just completely immersed in it, and finished the class, got up to wash my brushes. On the way to the sink, my second book came in a torrent, and I hadn't even been thinking about my second book. It just arrived, and it arrived completely unlike my first book. I had to throw my brushes into the sink, run to get my phone and some paper and a pen and capture it. And I want to sort of emphasize to everyone that if you're stuck, or if you feel like you're just treading water and you can't seem to break through, when we stop, let go, surrender, go into the unknown just by moving our hands. You can do it by doodling, you can collage, you can play around with a kid's set of paint. It's just the time that we spend playing around. What happens is that there is a renewal inside of our bodies and inside of our brains, and we leave this place of narrow focus and survival, and we go into abundance and creativity, and we can literally feel it happening in our bodies. And it's like a meditation that we do while we're sitting up with all the lights on and we're moving our hands.
Yeah, totally. You know, when you were talking about when you just tap into like these new thoughts, what came to me, have you seen Avatar? When they were with the mother tree, and they just are all like together, like connecting to the vitality of the tree, and just like opening themselves up. Like that's what I pictured when you said that. And I'm just like, ooh, you know.
That is a very beautiful metaphor, because that is very much what it's like.
Yeah.
Because we're tapping into sort of the best version of ourselves. But I also believe, and I know this is going to sound like magical thinking, but I also believe that we're tapping into the genius that's all around us.
Absolutely.
Whether that's nature, or whether that's the quantum field, or whether that's the collective human spirit, we're connecting into all of that.
Yeah. I couldn't agree with you more. You know, like we were talking about earlier, is that, you know, you kind of let things flow. And so for me, and I mentioned this before he started getting in, is that like I've recently there's been a lot going on, a lot of great things. I'm not complaining at all, but with so much going on, so much pressure, and then having to do X, Y, Z, like check off all these boxes of all these to-do lists, then I start feeling a little like burnt out and a little bit stagnant. And it's just like my brain is not operating in that creative space where I like it to operate, because when I'm just relaxed and I let things flow, things just flow very naturally for me. And so like I personally have to like acknowledge that. Number one, acknowledge it. Number two, I gotta let things just go. I gotta let it sit. I can't force it. I can't sit here and like beat my head against the wall like, oh, you gotta get it done. You gotta get it done. I can't. I've learned. And then there's that, you know, you talk about our culture, then there's that guilt that comes up like, well, I have this extra time, I should be checking off my to-do list. And it's been a little bit of a battle internally just to let it go, because it will get done, and things will just continue to flow.
I would love right now to issue an entrepreneurial pardon for anyone who feels compelled to always be productive, especially when, so we have a holiday coming up. There's going to be a little voice that's, you should, crack through a few things here before the fireworks, whatever it is. And this is the way we're trained.
Yeah.
If we can believe that the more we rest, in fact, our brains, this is research based, our brains require that we rest 42% of the time.
Oh, wow.
That turns out to be about 10 hours a day.
Wow.
Now, if I'm being generous, and I'm assuming that most people who are listening to this are getting 8 hours of sleep a night, which I know is not true.
Right.
There's still another 2 hours during the day. So how do we get that rest in?
Yeah.
And what I want to share with you is something that I created because I was desperate for this myself.
Okay.
And it's two pieces. So the first piece is that we inspire ourselves in the way that author Paulo Coelho talks about, who wrote The Alchemist. Okay. That means to breathe in beauty, art, nature, being with the people we love, doing the things that bring us alive. So that's breathing in, we're inspiring ourselves.
Yeah.
What we breathe out is our best creative work.
Oh, I love that.
What we're so great at as entrepreneurs is we exhale a lot, right?
Yeah.
But then there's nothing we can't, if you exhale, you can't actually keep exhaling
Nope.
without the inhale part of the process, without
Right.
the inspiring part of the process.
Yeah.
So I have something that is foolproof, I promise you. And
Okay.
if you start with inspiration, because you've got to get your energy back up, and you also have to get your willingness back up.
Okay.
So once you have your willingness and energy tanks topped off, then you switch over to what I call the 5 M's. And you can pick just 2 or 1 to even start with. So I'll take you through those really quickly.
Okay.
So the first one is morning pages, and that is the brainchild of author Julia Cameron, who wrote The Artist's Way. And this is 3 pages of longhand writing. Now, I'm going to give you a caveat to this.
Okay.
I have a client right now who is having just amazing progress with this one habit, but she's only doing 1 page.
Okay.
And
every morning she's writing?
Every morning.
Oh, wow.
And I do, so this morning I did probably 2 pages. So, and some days I'll write 10. I mean, it just sort of depends. But here's what's so amazing about having an opportunity to just come to a journal. This is, by the way, is not prose. This does not have to be punctuated, grammatically correct. It can be 3 pages of bitching and whining. Okay. It can be writing about a bad dream. Like if you have a dream hangover, or it could be, I'm just so scared right now, or I'm feeling a lot of anxiety, or I'm not quite sure if this is going to work. Let me just kind of write it out and sort of talk it out on the page. What this does is download all of this funk and gunk out of our brain. And we get a chance to start the day with a much different kind of energetic stance.
I love that.
And it's not chasing us around during the day. I feel so calm and so collected and so clear and confident when I close that journal up and I go on to my walk.
Yeah.
And that's the second M, which is movement. And if you can move, even if you're doing chair exercises or whatever you love to do, but I will tell you a daily walk is just completely transformational.
Yeah.
And if you can walk in a place that's beautiful and quiet, all the better. I have a little journal that I put in my pocket. I get the best ideas when I walk. No question. The third is meditation. And that can be 5 minutes in a dark room, just quiet. Or you can have a formal practice.
Yeah.
But you can reset your central nervous system very quickly. And meditation is a beautiful way to be kind of like a bookend partner for this ability to easily surrender. You start to build your surrender muscles.
Yeah.
And not try to over control and overcorrect and chase the perfectionist genie.
Yeah.
The fourth is moments of inspired learning. And that can be listening to a poem. That can be looking up an inspirational quote. This year, I started an inspirational quote journal. So I'll find a little quote every morning, and on the day, I write it down. And here's what's so funny. So now, we're halfway through the year. Every day I flip through this book to get to the next page. And I'm doing it on purpose because while those quotes have been sitting in that book, they've been talking to each other and talking to my own subconscious mind.
Yeah.
And so now I am understanding a really interesting way to connect the dots among artists, philosophers, writers, coaches, people who are, leaders of all stripes. And it's informing my thinking, but it's also just a beautiful, fun way to start the day. And it takes 2 minutes and you're done. And the last one is the making something one. And that, of course, is the one that everybody resists the most and believes is a bunch of baloney. But I promise you, if you do make something, whether it's a sauce or crochet or a doodle on a Post-it, you will have an interesting experience. And the power of that accumulation over time, you will change how you live and you will change your trajectory to success.
Agreed. All those things. I do each one of those things pretty much every day, but in a different way. So I have my own practice. So people know they don't have to do exactly like what you're saying.
Absolutely.
It can be a version of what you shared, one of those 5 things. So
yes,
you are the author of Buoyant. It is an incredible book, Entrepreneur's Guide to Becoming Wildly Successful, Creative, and Free. Can you share a little bit more to the audience about the book?
Yes, absolutely. So this is a combination of memoir as well as very practical exercises. And I really wrote it for the person who's on the emotional or financial gurney, who is looking for a way to get out of the quicksand and a way to bring color and vibrancy and vitality and joie de vivre back to their life. And to remember who they truly are. And I want to impress upon everyone that your soul has not forgotten. You just have to go on a little bit of an archaeological dig of the self. And I show you exactly how to do that. And it's a fun process. And what happens is that you start to re-energize and you start to look up and look around and you start to protect your energy and you start to say hello to the things that you don't like anymore. And you start to say hell yes to the big dreams that maybe you forgot when life got too busy. And all of a sudden, you're attracting clients out of the ether. Where are these people coming from? And it's because you've connected profoundly and beautifully to yourself. They can now hear you and feel you, and they are now in alignment. They're like, oh, she or he has what I want. And so it's a beautiful way to take yourself on a journey and something that you will enjoy and use and tap into for the rest of your life.
Yes, I love it. Absolutely. Susie, where can people find you, connect with you, and purchase your book?
Thank you. Yes, you can reach me at innovationandcreativityinstitute.com. That's my website, and you can connect with me on all the social channels through that website. Of course, my book is available at all booksellers, but if you order it on Amazon, periodically they'll reduce the price, so you can catch, probably a little bit of a discount if you go through Amazon.
Nice. I will put those links in the description of the show. So if you connected with Susie and want to learn more or purchase her book, go click the link and go purchase the book. I typically ask for last words of wisdom or advice. Is there something you'd like to leave with us today?
I would like to just remind everyone that what you are dreaming of, what you are hoping for, what you are craving is well within your reach. And so don't give up. The path is possible and less is definitely more. So if you're feeling burned out, if you're feeling exhausted, take some time and come home to yourself. That's the source of all great things.
Amen to that. Woo, on that note, you guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We will see you next week on Monday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So we will see you back